and a hearty welcome to the Rabyd Nation. I am your host, Ed Rabyd, a former pastor turned atheist, now compassionate anti-theist. And this is my channel, The Rabyd Atheist. And welcome to this stream, this Monday stream where the topic can be anything or whatever I want it to be. It's kind of an open forum kind of thing. But I also like to keep the people that follow this channel abreast of what's going on in the world of atheism and scholarship. And so the title of this one is The Habermas Saga Continues, and subtitled Damage Control and Excuses. I want to give, today I'm just going to give an update on where all that is, because I've been studying some of the sources that I was given, some of the scholarly research that I was given, and thinking about the entire situation. And I guess I'm going to give you an update of where I'm at and what I think about it. But before I do all that, just a reminder, this is kind of an open one, so you're welcome to comment in the chat. I may or may not deal with your comments because I want to make sure I get everything done that I want to get done before I have to leave for work, get ready for work. But there's also a goal in the chat, helps me pay for the stream and some of the resources I use to keep the stream going and things like that. And it gets big enough, I'll have some stuff to do research with on some of these issues. So many paywalls. And I understand it, I get it. So, but yes, so if you help me reach that goal in chat, then I will wear whatever hat is chosen by the poll. And for the rest of the stream, it's just my quiet, polite way of asking for money without having to do it for the rest of the stream. So there you go. Let's see who's here. I want to give a shout out. Fred is not here. So all of you who love Fred so much can talk shit about him, and he'll hear about it and see it later in the chat. So you're more than welcome to do that. So somebody already jumped on that. Hi, Rummer. And then Martin is here. Okay, Captive Desk is here. Good to see you, Dave. Evelyn is here. Going down. I thought I saw, yes, Katie is here as well. All right. Habermas. The saga continues. Here, let me put the thumbnail up here so everybody knows that this is what I'm talking about right now. I want to go kind of back to the beginning a little bit so everybody understands a little of the backdrop. When Habermas was still hawking his series and talking about Volume 3 before it had been released, both me, Paulogia, and many other atheist YouTubers were kind of excited about it because, finally we're going to get this volume that gives us his research that proves this 90% of scholarly consensus claim that he's made since the beginning of Minimal Facts, and has yet never, in my mind, still has not provided the data that backs up that claim, that each of these facts is backed up by 75% to 90% consensus. And that's what we thought we were going to get. Throughout the hawking of this book and selling it and shilling it, Habermas constantly made the claim that there are more non-Christians than Christians. And so when the book finally did come out, Paul makes his video breaking down. He spent an entire week going through all the names, okay, checking out what their religious affiliation is, and discovering very quickly that, no, that's just not true. And it's a very simple research method, came out with that. And so at that point, it's like, no, that's not what you're claiming. And then later on, Habermas gets on and makes the claim, well, I was talking about evangelicals versus non-evangelicals. I was only counting the evangelical Christians as Christians, and then makes a definition vague enough where anybody can consider themselves like a Christian, like anybody can do that. So reminder not to donate. Okay. Good to see you, Stormburn. Stormburn's one of the guys I'm going to be referencing to in this discussion too, because he got me thinking down a certain lane, and I think he's right. Wolf is here tonight. Good to see you. Decibel's here. So we did all that, and then after that happened, Paulogia released illustrable. I was confronted by Real Seeker in one of the chats and that, where I've said like, no, I don't think minimal facts is backed up, things like that. And so that's how the saga started. Okay. So I get into this comment discussion with Real Seeker. I'm like, because Real Seeker had this interview with Habermas. Like we had this, we have criticism of volume 3, but we're not dealing with these people. We're dealing with 3 PhD scholars that are critical of volume 3. And that's what we're talking about. So I start pressing Real Seeker on who the identities of these 3 PhD scholars are. And it was like a safe cracker using a crowbar in a safe. So there you go. Oh, there's Cranky. Welcome, Cranky. And then we got the lovely Laughing Which Our Lord Naps, Earl. So thank you, Earl. Good to see you, Earl. And it was really fun doing the thing on Halloween night with you. That was great stuff. If you guys haven't checked that out, go back and watch it. So yeah, I think he's a little generous. Yeah. So, but yes, he was generous because there's a lot of unnamed people haven't named what their religious affiliation is. I think it's actually higher than 79%, but that's very, very much the case. So finally, I pry these 2 names out of Real Seeker's mind, and I want to deal with the excuses part a little bit later, but this is the start of where I still think there's excuses. Here's the thing, and I want to be very, very clear here. I got to the point where I finally get these 2 names, and so I reach out. I tried to find Slade. He gives me Michael Alter and Slade as the 2 PhDs. And I'm trying to reach out to these guys, and I could get a hold of Alter. Michael Alter, I got a hold of. Within 2 hours, he sent me some sources of where he was critical of Habermas. And I watched the videos. I'm like, well, okay, where's the criticism of volume 3? But there is a lot of criticism here of the whole idea of scholarly consensus being even a valid research point to even be made. The paper that I was given, same thing. Him and Slade go at this notion of like scholarly consensus, and they use as a data point all the people that have written about the resurrection for the last 50 years in a scholarly manner, right? Not just, popular books that people write, pastors and stuff, but scholarly stuff that ended up on people's bookshelves of scholars and things like that. And the vast majority of them are Christian. And so from that research, I could make this observation. It was very naive of Habermas to sit there and even make the claim. If he was aware of this research, which took place in 2022, long before I think the book was published, or he might have even been working on the book at the time, he should not have even started making the claim, realizing this peer-reviewed free paper says the vast majority of the time you talk about the resurrection, you're going to get Christians. So you need to understand that at that point, Habermas should not have made that claim. He should have known better, okay, at that point, if he was aware of that research. Yeah, you're spending too much time arguing with theists in the comment section. Yeah, I find that it's kind of a waste of time sometimes too. But yes, what happened at that point is like I'm thinking, and my initial thoughts were, okay, if this is the criticism that they're talking about, there's a couple problems. Number one, as Stormburn pointed out to me, none of this crap happened after, like none of this scholarly stuff we were getting from Real Seeker happened after volume 3 was released. Like the paper he found, the paper I found that was given to me by Alter are all predated before May 15th of this year. The video that Alter gave me was May 2nd of this year, which is 13 days before it was released. So how are any of this, the PhD scholars that you're talking about, saying these are the ones that are being critical of you? How is that possible if this is all pre-volume 3 release? Okay, and so I feel like I was thrown more. It was valuable research because it's, okay, yeah, here's some scholars that think what I think about Habermas's, scholarly consensus claim. There's other people out there that think the same as me, as a fellow scholar that was like, okay, yeah, that was good. What I didn't get was the 3 PhDs that were critical of Habermas's volume 3 after it was released. Or if you told me that they got a pre-copy and were critical of it before it was released, I would have accepted that too. I'm going to go back to my original claim that during the interview between Habermas and Real Seeker, when they made this claim that there were 3 other PhD scholars they were thinking about, it wasn't Paul, it wasn't me, it wasn't other YouTubers. I'm thinking it's still bullshit. I'm sorry, it's still BS to me. I think it's still a lie. Okay. And I'm going to go back to my accusation of being a lie. I think you just threw that out there thinking nobody would fact check you on it. Okay. And once again, you live in the world of fact checking. To me, the saga continues, the Habermas saga continues. And what continues it is, I'm not being given the information I need to assess one of your claims. That, I'm not really dealing with Paulogia's research. I'm not really dealing with the rabid atheist Ed Raby's comments that back that research up. I'm not dealing with, you're really not dealing with Alter and Slade's paper or Michael Alter's video on the subject, because that's pre-release of volume 3. Where is the PhD scholars that after volume 3 was released, they are the ones that were critical of you? Where is that? I don't understand how it's so hard to just give me those names so I can contact them or whatever. This smells like a cover-up. This smells like damage control. I'm sorry, I hate to be, I think you're still telling a fib. Okay, I think you're lying. Okay, I'm going to put that lying back. I don't think those scholars exist. Okay, until you show me that they exist, I'll happily apologize. If there's, I just don't understand how you can withhold names, because I think that's an excuse. Like, you're telling me you don't want to give out names out of respect for those people, but I have never heard that given in the scholarly realm. Like, every time I had a discussion when I was doing the halls of academia, even recently at Ferris, like, well, he's received criticism from these people, from some people. Well, who are they? And nobody has ever said, those names are secret. I don't want to disrespect those names by telling people who they are. That's the kind of thing you say when you get caught in something. And I don't want to say you got caught in a lie. I really don't. But from my perspective, at this point, all the thoughts I've had, the research I've done on, you still haven't given me an answer to who are the 3 PhDs that criticized volume 3 after it was released this year. Who are they? And I think it's a lame excuse, Real Seeker. It really is. To sit there and say, and it's a lame excuse from Habermas if he's actually making this. They're both saying, we don't want to reveal these names out of respect for those people. That's a load of crap. Okay, it literally took me 3 hours to get a response from Alter. I don't think Alter's all that upset that you would name him. Okay, I don't think, Slade's work is public, it's free, it's a free peer-reviewed paper. I don't think they're worried about getting recognized. The only reason you keep the names back is you don't want to recognize where your opposition is coming from, and then you can kind of deal with it in this nebulous way, and then you don't have to deal with specifics. And it's to me, it's just dishonest. I don't know. I guess I feel like I've been thrown something that I immediately jumped on for research purposes, because I'm like, okay, if these are the names, let's go find out what's there. I reach out to Alter. He gives me an answer, gives me stuff, but it's all predated before May 15th of this year, when volume 3 was released of Habermas's magnum opus. So where still is the criticism? And then I get another lame excuse of, well, I don't want to give you the third guy because I don't think he's a PhD. Well, just give me his name. I can determine whether or not. And that's another nebulous thing, like who constitutes a scholar in this scholarly consensus, because he Habermas will sit there, I only want terminal degrees, PhDs in relevant fields, but then make some exceptions. So it's like, okay, apparently there are some exceptions. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, see, it's like I feel like I've been lied to again. Like Stormer, I just after you made your comment about, all this stuff is predated before the release of the volume 3. I'm like, okay, so even the names I've been given was kind of a smokescreen to throw me off the fact that I had still not been given 3 names of PhDs. So I'm kind of in the dark at this point. I'm kind of like, I still haven't been given any names. And I really feel like my poli-sci political science degree spider sense is going off. And I feel like that this is damage control and excuses. That's why I titled this stream damage, subtitled it damage control and excuses. I want to give an update on this because this is where I'm at this point. I originally apologized to Real Seeker for not saying that I don't think he really had names. But now I'm going to go back to that because I don't think he still has names. I think he went back and found some names that were critical of Habermas and his research methods, threw me those names knowing that I would go after them. But he nobody's still giving me these names. And I'm sorry, I don't want to give them out of respect for them as a bullshit excuse. I'm going to continue to make that accusation. Scholars don't mind being recognized. They don't. If they worried about their names being out there, they wouldn't publish papers. Okay, it's if you're going to engage a scholarly debate on a topic, you give the names of your opponents. You cite sources. Citing sources is key to research. So if you're saying criticism is coming from a certain area, okay, then damn it, tell me who they are and where I can find their criticism. I want to make sure you're not straw manning them. I want to make sure you're being honest in the debate. And if you're a person who is a scholar, you value that honesty in that debate. And I just don't see it. So yes. I wouldn't apologize. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, Stormburn. I mean, after what you said, I'm like, well, yeah, that's a pretty valid point. I want to give Stormburn credit because he got me going down this train of thought. I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm going to take back my apology, okay, to Real Seeker because he still hasn't given me names of 3 PhD scholars after the publication of Habermas's Volume 3. So the timeline's weird here. So he still hasn't done that. And so I'm going to say, well, okay, you could still be lying, okay, about the whole thing. The fact that you kept back one name means you could possibly be lying. I get that, Earl. I feel that way sometimes too, because when I was watching Paulogia's video today, there's a common lie that's been around since the 60s that oral tradition back in the days of early Christianity was tight and solid. And it's like, no, there were sects and offshoots and different schisms out of Christianity almost from the get-go, as evidenced by the 1st and 2nd century writings of many Christians. So it's like apologists have a tendency to not put what they think is facts under the same gun and scrutiny as secular people do. So yeah, I know you haven't heard it. I think he's probably getting inundated since I got the name again, showed how people how to count it. So he may have responded to me because it was like the first email he got on it, and I went after it right away. So, but yeah, he got back to me, and that's how I got onto his research. But once again, his stuff doesn't really deal with post Volume 3 publication. Like it's a criticism of Habermas's scholarly consensus argument. And both of them are really good. And they're like, yeah, I kind of, that's the biggest problem I have with minimal facts is they still haven't proven that claim. There's no data set. So I don't think so. He has his PhD from Michigan State, so it's a legitimate degree, but it's back in the 70s, so he's been around for a while. So you summon Satan as a joke on him, but he won't leave. Okay, well, sorry about that. Are you grumpy, Earl? That's okay. I got the grumpy meme for you. There you go. But yes, I'm kind of grumpy too now. Um, I'm grumpy because I'm kind of mad at myself because I should have realized, and this is just oversight on my part, I should have realized that once I was reading the research and looking at the thing, I should realize, wait a minute, this is all pre volume three's released. So yeah, there should be something post release as a criticism from PhD scholars. I really should have realized that. And it took Stormburn to kind of let me know that. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks. Now, yeah, you're right. So, so apologists are not engaging in real life. That's what's the world coming to. Yes. Speaking of Stormburn, welcome, citizen, and thank you very much. Yes, but I want to thank you for lending me having me look down this thing. So Ed's first grump. Yes, that's probably true. I don't know. No, I don't think he should. I remember listening to the interview with him and Habermas at double speed at work. And I remember the claim so vividly that he was claiming that there were three PhDs. They weren't dealing with Paul or me or anybody else like that. They were dealing with three real PhDs that were being truly, genuinely critical. And the whole notion is to dismiss Paulogia. Okay, like I don't know what Habermas has a real problem with Paulogia, I think, because here's a guy without a degree that can literally sniff through his bullshit. This is secondhand grumpy. Okay. Oh, but yes. I don't get it at this point. Okay, this is damage control. Like, I decided to look it up, and I checked my Amazon account and type in Gary Habermas's books, and they're still on sale. And I'm having to wonder, because I don't think the real problem for Habermas is coming from me and Paul anymore. I think it's coming from Christians. I think it's coming from his colleagues going, yeah, dude, you're making us look bad. Okay, because if there's other scholars in the field of biblical and theological and philosophical research right now, they're like looking at this situation and going, no, yeah, man, you should release the data. This volume three should have been the data that you keep claiming exists, because this is the constant criticism of minimal facts. Where's your 90% consensus data proven? And that's what you should have done. But instead, you listed these names, and then you claim there's more non-Christians than Christians, and then some YouTuber comes along and fact checks you and shows you that's not true. So it's like, yes, this is a problem. And I now think that the problem is internal. And you're never going to see this. This is just my suspicion. But I think some of his colleagues are going, yeah, dude, this was a big boo-boo. Okay, this is a mistake. So, but there you go. So there you go. Cecily, checking back the start of arguments, make sure I don't get deflected. Brain gets me. Yeah, I get it. But now I feel like I can reinitiate my claim, Stormburn, of they're lying. They're lying about the PhDs that criticized Habermas after volume three was released. I think I can renew that claim. Like, it's possible that they're lying. I'm not saying they are lying. I'm saying that lies are possible now, that you made this up and then you threw me these scholars that are critical of Habermas, don't get me wrong, and they're critical of his scholarly consensus, but they're not critical of volume three because volume three hadn't been released yet. Okay. And some of this is 3 years old. Like the paper I read is 3 years old. I think it's 2022. And so it's like Habermas should have known that to make the claim more non-Christians and Christians was not probably likely true because of Alter and Slade's work. Like, there's data points that show that all the books written about the resurrection for the last 500 years have been majority done by Christians, high majority done by Christians. And that's a bias set then by its very nature. So it's not a good data point to back up your minimal facts with if you know it's automatically going to be biased towards Christianity. Okay, and then Alter brings out the additional point that he doesn't include Muslim scholars for some reason, maybe because they're all against it. So here we have it. Apologetics is all about arguments from authority. Dismissing Paulogia for lack of credentials is standard fare. Yeah, it is. It's also illegitimate. Like if somebody makes a good data point, does good research, they should acknowledge it. Like, so there you go. Yeah, Stormburn is like enjoying the fruits of membership, which is the emojis. You know, let's see, Veggie Killer is way down on my list. It's one of my favorites, though. Still, there you go. See, there you go. Now everybody can see it. So yes, but yeah, I'm kind of disappointed again. And I stopped talking to Real Seeker. I guess Paulogia made note to me that Real Seeker went after Paulogia again. And that's the next video that's probably going to come out. So that's kind of a little teaser for some of the rest of you. I don't know what Paul's specifically going to do, but he's like, I guess Real Seeker came after him. He grabbed all the comments that me and Real Seeker had as an exchange and things like that. So that might be in there too. But I don't know. I'm disappointed once again in Real Seeker because you gave me names, but really they're not the names I've been looking for. It's like you waved your hand and did the Jedi mind trick, you know. So here, let me pull up the Saga continues. You waved your hand and did the Jedi mind trick. These are the scholars that you're looking for. Okay, and I'm like waving back. No, these are not the scholars I'm looking for. They are, in a sense. I always love to read critics of Habermas's stuff, but that's not what you claimed. What you claimed was 3 PhDs that were critical of volume 3. And now you're trying to wait. Oh, well, that's not what happened. So we're trying to do the apologist mind trick. Okay, we're gaslighting. Okay, that's not what I was asking for. And the fact that you still wouldn't give me a third name is problematic too. So yeah. I hope he does too. I hope he uses the art in that video, Earl, because your art is great. Like, I'm sorry. I know I'm trolling, but I think Habermas at this point deserves to be trolled. Okay. I'm sorry. He's lived a life of being this high resurrection scholar that everybody sings his kudos and pats him on the back. But then he makes these claims about his third book, to hawk the book, gets caught on it by a YouTuber and doesn't like the fact that somebody called him out on it. And instead of apologizing and saying, you know what, I probably shouldn't have made that claim. That was my mistake. Yes, there's definitely more scholars in here, but there's some critical scholars that are critical. If he had done that kind of thing instead of doubling down with the evangelical versus non-evangelical thing, I would have had more respect for him and I would have backed off, and I probably would never have trolled him like this. But I'm going to troll him now because, like, I'm sorry, I troll Lacona. I mean, I know a lot of people say he's a respectable apologist, and but it's like he never debates real atheists most of the time. He never lets atheist callers on his show. He's, but here we have Habermas doing the same thing. J. Warner Wallace, getting his timeline wrong about his conversion. Like, there's all these apologists that they get so used to doing bad evidence, okay, okay, that they think they can just make claims and people will eat it up. And it's like, you got to back up your claims, okay? And so do I have proof that Habermas and Real Seeker are lying about this 3 PhD thing? No. But I haven't been given any PhDs to clear it up either. So it remains in the nebulous realm of, is this a lie or not? And that's my concern. My concern is, like, I really feel like there's probably a lot of Christian scholars that are looking at this incident and going, oh, wait a minute. Do we call this out or not ourselves? And I think maybe some of them have. I just haven't run into it. And maybe it's behind closed doors. Maybe the publishers sat down with Habermas. I don't know. So, yes, as some random data over dogma. Yes, thank you. but yes, I genuinely, yeah, Habermas. I think that's the problem, Katie. I've gotten to the point where it's like you've told so many lies here, you're having trouble figuring out how to cover it up, and it's damage control. Because us think about how much this book, the series of book was going to sell for. Like I'm looking at it right now. Volume 1 is $80. Volume 3 is $75 regular price. Um, I don't know. Volume 2 isn't up here, but it's like it was another one, and Volume 4 was supposed to come out and probably going to be about the same. I want you to think about that. It's like $300 worth of books that's now being sold for about 150. Okay, if Volume 4 comes out, that's a loss of a lot of money. Okay, over a claim that Habermas should have known better not to make in the first place if he knew about Alter and Slade's research back in 2022, saying, listen, the people that talk about the resurrection of Jesus are predominantly Christians and always has been. And to make the claim that any research is going to be that way, I think this, yeah, he's used excuses just before too. I don't know, we'll see. It's a little mean, I guess, but I don't know, Stormburn. I like Earl's artwork, so I published it and it gave me a giggle, but yeah. Okay. Less apprehensive you feel about drawing. Yeah, I know. Lacona has his problems with who he endorses. But he's also, there's been a lot of things in the apologetics realm, particularly among the older apologists, that it's getting problematic. The younger ones are kind of avoiding it because they're young and they're not in the spotlight as much. But I think the older ones are having problems because they don't realize that the world we live in it's easy to fact check people. It really is easy. Like so and so said this, and you can find a video and say, well, that's not what they said. You took it out of context. Like there's so much, there's so much stuff. So there you go. I don't see the necessity, like you say you're respecting the people you don't want to mention. Well, I don't see a need to respect that. So I don't count him as respectable either. I just think he made some valid points against Habermas in one interview. So I'm not sure I would do that anymore, Wolf. I'd say a lot of the things that William Lane Craig are now regurgitating are from the. Paul made a good point in his video. It sounds like Bart Ehrman kind of called him out. No, that's just not true. That's from the 1960s. Somebody said it and popularized it, but there's no evidence for it. Yeah, it's like, and that's kind of the problem I have with William Lane Craig. He lives in the past, and he hasn't realized that time has marched on. So. Yeah, he also would have known if he had done the actual research. Like I feel like I should blame his research guy that put book 3 together. Basically, like that data should have been gathered at the same time he was putting names and organizing. Okay, is this guy a Christian? Is he a pastor? Is he a professor? Gender, race, all the normal stuff you do with statistics. He should have been doing at the same time, and then he would have had that data to give to Habermas and say, hey, these are the claims you can make about these people. And that should have been done ahead of time. So yes, I agree with that too. But yes, it's frustrating right now because now I feel like, okay, Real Seeker doesn't want to deal with me anymore because he considers me a lost cause. In fact, Paulogia says he still has hope for Paulogia, but not for me. And I'm like, Paulogia's been doing this longer than I have. Okay, like I think he's been on YouTube a couple years longer than me, like 3 or so. And I was listening to him long before I got involved in YouTube. So the idea that somebody is going to have more faith that I'm going to convert or Paul's going to convert is kind of laughable to me. Like we're both making the same accusation. Like, where are your scholars? Where are your guys that are saying that they were critical of 3? And what's your response? Give me the names. And trying to get names out of people should be an easy endeavor. like especially scholars. Scholars are published on books and stuff. They don't mind their name being out there. That's just an excuse. Okay, I'm going to call that an excuse. So who's Leia? Unfortunately, it's the lovely Earl. So here, let me find the undoctored image that I used for the thumbnail. Here we go. There we go. But yes. Yes, I think in some ways the younger ones are worse. They should know, they know but their audience is so. I agree that they're kind of conservative young Republican types, and so they know who their audience is, and they should know better. A lot of the apologetics they have seen over the years has been debunked, and they really haven't dealt with it. So, but yes, the lovely Leia 3PO is right there next to the image of me. So there you go. But this is the original thumbnail without the title on it. So it's been my favorite one to use for this saga as it continues. Oh, these are not the scholars I'm looking for. Thank you. He mostly criticizes fundamentalists. Okay. Yeah, I can see Randall Rouser. Yeah. Yes, translation as Paul looks like an easier mark. I agree with that. Like he comes after me and he's not, when Real Seeker came after me, he wasn't dealing with a non-scholar that's just a YouTuber. I'm a YouTuber that's also a scholar. Okay, I've got the creds. Look them up. It's like it's the problem of having to deal with somebody that's like, I have a research degree and I know what proper research is. And Habermas not releasing the data on his consensus stuff is still very problematic from a research point of view. You haven't provided the foundation for your minimal facts. And so when Paul just does a fact check on the Christian versus, that's easier to go after than me that's also going to bring up that part of it too. So, and Paul brings that up too, but it's just like, yeah. Value tone over substance. Alex Connor, genetically modified skeptic. Yeah, they're good ones. One evangelical, two evangelical, three evangelical. Well stated. I'll probably based on Platonic horseshit. As that finally dies, the final order is presuppositionalism. Yes. Yes, there's Earl. She likes her artwork. I like Earl's artwork too. I think this is good stuff, Earl. It's trolling, but I'm good with it. You could play Real Seeker in the biopic. Contact Crump. Oh, Turek, yes. Turek's been one of those guys up there with Habermas. Turek, he's fallen. He used to debate the likes of Christopher Hitchens and a few others, but since those debates, he's now had to settle for college kids. So, once to press them on young Earth creation, and yeah, that's something that they don't like when you do that. You're an edgelord at heart. There you go. Makes sense. But yes. So, but yeah, we've had our moment. Troy can't handle a guy in a rhino onesie. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really done too much with Turek. I was originally going to read his book. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist or whatever the hell it was. I couldn't get past the introduction, Stormburn, where he misdefines what atheism is right in the intro. Like it's religious secularism. Like that's atheism is religious secularism. And I'm like, okay, first of all, religious secularism, those two words don't go together because secularism by definition isn't religious at all. So yeah, it could be Honey Boo Boo. That's possible. But yes, it's until you give me some real names and post 3 and they're critical of volume 3. I guess I'm still in kind of this realm of what do I do about that? Like, what do I, you know, I think I can re-put on the table that you guys are probably fibbing, like you're lying. So, I mean, I don't get it. So, I mean, I just don't understand it. You know, it's like it's I yes, I get that you can it's religious like as a designation if you're using that definition, but I don't think atheism that doesn't make sense for atheism either. So yes, it's kind of a social concept of what religion is, but it's not the same as being a religion. So yeah, they kind of yeah, I got I got maybe yeah, possibly. Yeah, it's equivocating. It's a go-to tactic of apologists. So that's kind of where I'm at with all this. I'm very interested to see what Paul puts out as a video dealing with. I guess he was attacked recently or had a conversation with Real Seeker that went very sideways or something. Yeah, not all atheists are leftists or woke, so it's like you can't make that statement. So you can't like religiosity, if you're using a definition that's like it acts like a religion, like there's a religious devotion to it, I guess I could see it. But I don't think atheists are religiously devoted to secularism. Like it just secularism is just like what can we imagine a society without God and how would that work? And engaging things like morality and sociology and all the other stuff without a God present, looking at real data, real information, what can we get? So I just don't buy the religious designation of secularism because it's kind of an oxymoron. So yeah, exactly. Yeah, calling it a religion is kind of like no, that's just not the way it is. Atheism is not a religion, quite the opposite. So it's like that's kind of the yeah, there's some insufferable. That's why a lot of you are here. Okay. I have a lot of people in chat who shall I say, used to be on, in those forums. And because of a slight variance in different beliefs from the host or whoever the keyboard warrior was, that's why they're here. Okay. It's, it's like they got kicked out of places for having moderate political views or moderate social views. It's like, people are allowed to have different political and social views and all still be atheists, right? You know that, right? so I think he might be. J. Warner Wallace is, but it's like I. The claim was that they were dealing with criticism of Volume 3, and like the only people I know of that provided a data point against Volume 3 was Paul and Paulogia and several other atheist YouTubers and myself. I just backed up Paul. I just like I without I can believe that, and now that I've seen Alter and Slade's research, it's like there's no way in hell, to put it in a euphemism, that any scholarly consensus on the resurrection wouldn't be heavily Christian biased. Like it would have to be because they're the ones that write about it. Okay. So it's like, yeah, should not have made the claim in the first place. So find or make a database, list of school states, faith required facilities and or students would be handy. Yes. I don't know if a database like that exists, but I know what you're getting at. Like the problem with a lot of the sources on the resurrection in particular is almost all of them are institutions where they have statements of faith. And so if you didn't believe in the resurrection anymore, you couldn't say so, or you'd lose your job. So, or you couldn't publish based on it, or you'd lose your job. So you'd have to be this like vague whatever or straight up lie on occasion, depending on what your real beliefs are. This is the problem with the statements of faith and scholarship. This is why regular scholarship, secular scholarship, and a lot of the whole realm of scholarship looks down at apologetics. Like apologetics is at the bottom end of a discipline because the standards of evidence for apologists are so low. Okay, plus the statements of faith is problematic because now you're saying, I can't remove myself from the bias. I can't get away from the bias. Okay, I can't get away from all that. Okay, I have to be biased on X, Y, and Z statement of faith. Okay, I get what you're getting at. And because of that, this is why minimal facts fails for me. I'm about to do a video on minimal facts. I keep saying that, but I've got the script almost finished and I got to just do the recording and do it. It's my comeback video, I think, of doing videos. So I wanted to address this issue and put minimal facts, why I think it belongs in the realm of bad research. Is one of the things is, dude, you don't, this database is so I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. So anti-discussion, yes. Oh, I was going to edit tomorrow lovingly. Don't buy all the screaming that some folks do about it. Yeah, you phrase X thing exactly. Yeah, I get what you're saying. It's still a learning. That means you're expecting marginalized to do all the work for you. Yes. Oh, I don't know what to do with us. We're bad. Hey, Dade. Excuse me. There you go. Good to see you, Dade. To the nature of being apologetics is not an inquiry, it's a propaganda for predefining. Yes. And that's the problem with statements of faith is you're only allowed to come to certain conclusions. So you have to start with the conclusion. And then you have to kind of way to argue backwards from that conclusion to whatever you're trying to argue from. And that's not the good way to do it. Hypotheses are better because then if you prove your hypothesis wrong, you can say, okay, what did we learn from this? And then you can go a different direction. When you have a preset conclusion, you can't do that. Like, oh, I didn't prove my conclusion, so I got to try another way. So it's the hard part of being. You lose my shit. There you go. There we go. I believe in us. Katie, I believe in the American people. I'm not so sure about our government most of the time. Yeah, I'm not sure about Wes Huff. I think he's burning out because he's been on a lot of shows, and I don't see him. I see a lot of regurgitation from him every time I've seen him. He's come up with a few unique things, but yeah, he's not the darling that he used to be. Apologetics is a hard game because people call you out on your bullshit all the time. So that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm like, give me your PhD sources post volume 3, please. So Dan McLean just did a Wes Huff and Trinity video. Oh, that ought to be good. So there you go. There you go. But yes, I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm now waiting still for my 3 sources. I'm back to waiting for 3 instead of 1. Mostly because I don't buy this anymore. Like it's become why do we have this problem of giving me names? Like, and I don't think scholars are going to have a problem with you name dropping their names. So yeah, kind of. I don't know. I haven't seen him very much. He appeared on a couple of shows with a couple of atheists, and they kind of called him on how's that any different. I seem to recall somebody calling him out on how is that any different than what this group of people believes. It's just different wording. And oh, we're different this way and that way. And it's like the one interview he did, he went right around in a circle and never answered the question for 2 straight hours. Then he finally got around to being honest about it. And then it was like everybody else is burned out watching the show, I think. So translating into that language is bad. Oh, Dan McLean just did a Wes Huff in the Trinity video. So is he? Are we just talking theology these days? Wes Huff is now. He's gone away from apologetics to just talking to Christians about Christianity. Is that where we're going? No. No. All right. Oh, I see it. Hold on. I'm going to cue it up. Yeah, because I like Dan. Dan does good work sometimes. I mean, it's mostly scholarly. Huff was hot for being on Rogan and calling out the fraud who is lying about the Christian canon. Doesn't have anything now other than grabbing a book from off screen. Okay. All right. I can see that. But I got the video as so thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, Andrew shows, yeah, like Buddy No. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I remember watching Wes Huff in an interview and I'm like, dude, you're going around in a circle. Like you answer the question. So there you go. Okay, so the other side during World War II were taken and killed from Amsterdam. So 10% of them have been Jewish for 2K years, but Dutch words in English or in better language to translate. Gotcha. So that's a fun fact that if we want to translate from Jewish, we got to go from Dutch to English. So there we go. It makes sense. Yeah, that's right. Because he appeared on Joe Rogan. I don't know. Not even sure that's a flex anymore. Oh, yes. Earl just sent me a message here. Hold on. Are you? Oh, so the two of you are doing a stream about this? Okay, hold on. Oh, I love the title though. Okay, stream. That way I can be right at the top. Here. I also have some artwork I forgot to share. Is this a stream you guys are doing? I won't be there for. I may listen in before I go to work. Oh, okay. So, how to disagree with people without being okay? Gotcha. I'll put up some advertising. I Killed Earl and Asso have been supporters of my channel for a long time. I'll support their stuff too. So, there you go. How to disagree without being basically an asshole in general. Can we do that? Like I've been talking to you, Earl, about civility and how the lack of civility is my greater concern than Donald Trump. So, but yeah, you love Yiddish? Okay, there you go. Hey, Coyote. Yeah. It's tomorrow, right? I'll tell you what. I'll leave it open. I'll see what I can do. Probably not doing anything, so I may jump in there, but I'll have to leave because I got to go to work. But we don't have election day off here in the United States, so. Can you help me? You are the asshole. There you go. I know. Because I figured that this is your conversion experience here, Azo, that you're going to cease to be Azo. Oh, yeah, I get it's clickbaity. I Earl, I don't hate the player anymore. I hate the game. Like, let's be honest about YouTube. YouTube recognizes clickbait titles. They absolutely do. They they want clicks, likes, and their ads to be in front of people. So okay, there you go. You're perfect. See? Somebody said you were perfect. All right. I gotta also pull up because I forgot to do it on Halloween. This is the anagram 2. I want to pick this up because Earl did this image for me, and I wanted to show it on Halloween night, but I forgot. So there we go. This is the anagram of Rabyd and Fangs. So you're insulting haters because you're a twat waffle. Okay, there you go. 5 of my blood pressure. Yeah, Brian's here. He's been here a couple times. They have an app for that. There you go. This is more Earl art. Yeah, it is super cool. Like, she took the name Rabyd and then she took Fame, and it's the same. You can see it up. You have the versions that are upside down, upside right, depending on which name you want to look for. But yes, this was Earl, I guess. Earl, correct me if I'm wrong. This was you just like bored and fooling around, trying to keep your brain busy. So, am I correct on that? So, well, those of you joining late, if you want to get the subject of the actual video, the stream, you have to go back to the beginning where I lay all that out. This is why I want to get a intro and outro to cut some stuff out of my streams and put it all together and make videos out of that too. So, waffles, you know. All right. Well, I tell you what. Now that I know about this, I'll probably show up. I may just be in chat though. You can leave me the link, but it'll depend on how I'm feeling. I can only stream. I've discovered, Earl, that I can only like stream for so many times before it like. So there you go. But yes. So yes, but this is okay. Yeah, I love making, and it's when I need to both relax and incredibly frustrated. Okay, so this came out of time of needing to relax when being frustrated. So we have Rabyd on the top and Fangs on the bottom, but if you flip it over, it's the same thing. So it's beautiful. I loved it as soon as I saw it. That's awesome. Oh. Trying to be a little kinder at first, but I have little patience for liars lately with people that claim to have read Isaiah 7 and think it's about Jesus. Yes. There's a lot of what's called, post hoc rationalization when it comes to prophecy. Once I realized that prophecy as proof of anything disappeared for me because I could almost always see where the person just saw what they wanted to see in the prophecy and just pulled it. So, oh, see you later, Martin. Evan's taking off. See you later, Evan. See you later, Martin. Appreciate you, both of you. Okay. All right. There we go. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of reviews. I think the problem with book 3 is it's not really designed to be read. It's supposed to be like a reference material. And as Paulogia pointed out, you'd be better off with Logos because it'll also get you all the stuff for the last 10 years. So, the Logos software is a good research tool if you're looking up a subject. So, but yes, I love this, by the way, Earl. Like, I it's very pointy. It's very fangsy. Just put it that. We'll call it fangsy. I kind of loved it. Your boredom. Yeah. Predicting primes. There you go. Said people like Thunderfoot and Sir Sick are not real skeptics because they have said the wrong thing about people like Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah. I don't know. Is it wrong? How do you know it's wrong? I don't know. The problem I have with her, of course, is like the reasons why she's doing what she's doing. So it's like, I don't know, you're making a deal with the devil, so to speak. There's a minor obsession. Okay. Yes. Things that God could have known and done. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Like, the idea of inspiration in scripture would have been improved if the Old Testament had things like, I know, germ theory, an actual cosmos that's real. Like, let's say the Old Testament had the only, you know, heliocentric view of the solar system of all the ancient religions and turned out to be right. Now, it could either be a lucky guess or maybe divine revelation, but you'd have more of a case of divine revelation if divine revelation lines up with reality. So later on, but yes. So it's good work. Oh, do I need to come to referee? Like, do I have to get in between the two of you? Because I know I also still butthurt about the dog thing, like the hellhound thing. So, so I don't know what to do with that. That's the point. Like, if there had been a scientific discovery that had been derived from the Bible, like the idea was in the Bible long before the rest of humanity thought about it, it would go a long way to say it was coming from some other source. But so it's a debate. It's a discussion of facts. Okay, there we go. Imagine Jewish culture if the cook pork through it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there'd be less for. I mean, do elder gods eat like pork brains? I mean, I know you like human brains, but do you settle for other mammals when it's available? Is that a thing that elder gods do? Inquiring minds want to know. They got right on germs. It's a law to wash your hands before eating and taking a daily shower kept them more healthy than others. Yes, but I think that could have been like somebody observing that too. So yeah, 2 in 1. There you go. Ugh. I'm just saying that you're still mad about it. I didn't mention anything about Jack's mother. You're the one that mentioned it. You've already promised to be a loving twat. Okay, there you go. All right, this ought to be fun. Maybe I will watch. This might be one that I might sit out just because I want to watch. Like, all right, so we'll have to. I'll have to keep that in mind that that's going on tomorrow. Oh my gosh. Oh, you don't eat human brains at all? Okay. I mean, you used to apparently, but things have gone downhill. The quality has suffered. Yeah, I can see that. I don't even know what you think you're right about yet. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah, but I don't know. See, but there you go. See, but yes, I'm. See, my problem these days is I turn on the news, and I've had this discussion before. Uh, the, the texture would be like pudding. Yeah, I suppose that's true. You're an independent woman now. Okay, fair enough. Oh, I don't know. Do you guys have a link for that you can throw in the chat? This is that they rely on their audience not being on the other side or a very soft side or the other side from moderate Christians. Yes. So no longer consumable. Snap. Okay. All right. There it is. It's in the chat. So, well, I will put it on my calendar. It might be something. I've got some final cleaning to do of my apartment that I wanted to do tomorrow. Hey, Paul. Yeah, I talked about you earlier. So there you go. But I just kind of this stream. I just kind of laid out my conclusions of where I stand right now. Like I feel like I've been fooled a little bit with these two names of Alter and Slade. Just it's difficult. Okay. Because I thought I was getting PhD scholars that were critical of the volume 3, and it turns out that that's not the case. So I'm still, I think I'm throwing my accusation of fibbing back on when they were saying that they had those guys and weren't talking about us. So, so there you go. Oh, it's still making stuff as it goes along. Okay, there we go. Hey, look at that. Yeah. Oh yeah. There's a lot of attractive people in here. Yeah, but it's like I'm I'm just at a point, Paul. I really am. I'm just at a point. Just so for you, Paul, I'll put this comment up too. Earl says that if you use your art in a video, that you have you have her full consent to throw her under the bus about how snarky it is. I think she just wants her art in there. So she did. It's funny stuff. So. And see, Gary making the third birth a e-source. It's only useful to pastors and the like. It's not a book for the laity. I would agree with that too. Yes, you can call her being overly snarky, I think is what she's saying, Paul. So there you go. She wants her art in there. I agree with her. She's very good. Oh. Oh. And look at that, Earl. Somebody listened to our Halloween stream, and you getting applauded by Paul for opening up your heart, Earl. And I was actually impressed with that too. If you guys haven't seen the Halloween stream, Earl kind of opens up about her witchy woo days, and I felt that was very brave of her. And she didn't go into full details, and I know there's a lot more, but we need more comments from people that aren't necessarily Christians that come out of stuff and come into atheism. I think that's positive. Yes. See, she's fangirling, Paul. So there you go. Earl's a big fan. So she likes your artwork too. She likes the cartoons. So self on Habermas Saga by going back to the beginning. Yeah, go ahead, Dragon Rider. Just go back to the beginning. I'm going to be closing out here. So yes, but yeah, Mark John agrees too. It was an amazing stream. Like I have a much deeper respect for Earl than I've had before, and I had a pretty large respect for her. But her opening up like that and telling everybody what was going on with her life is just amazing. So I appreciate that. So yeah, it's a good story, Stormburn. It really is. Earl has an amazing story. So she's come through a lot and is a stronger woman for it. So has my deepest respect. So there you go. Yes, the Fluffle was in rare form too. The Fluffle of Fangs was in rare form. I appreciate you guys. Oh, so you guys have elections on Sundays, so it's already a day off. Yeah. Thanks, Paul. Appreciate you coming by. I'm about ready to take off myself. I got to go get ready for work because I still have to do that to make money. So, good night. Night, Paulogia. Yes, I know, Earl. You're going to make your squishy and shit. But thank you, Earl. I thank you for the coming out like that. That was good. It was good stuff. For those of us that are deconverting, you need to realize that people deconvert from more than just Christianity or Islam. There's a lot of stuff out there. And Earl's was a great story to talk about that. So the confirmation bias that we all deal with in religion, that once again, Habermas doesn't think is a big issue with early Christianity for some reason. So there you go. All right, folks, I'm going to call it a night. It's been a great discussion. Good to have Paul here. When you watch this later, Paul, just, watch the whole thing. Just understand, I'm kind of in this place where I feel like it's still nebulous as to what's going on. And I think I'm going to put one accusation on the table that they don't have 3 PhD scholars that were critical of volume 3. They don't have them. And so that's why they don't give them. And until they give them, I think I'm fair in making that excessive. So, but we'll see. We'll see. All right. Well, I'm going to call it a night, folks. Thanks, everybody. May Fangs bless all of you. May he nibble on your hearts. May he purify your vegetables from religious corruption. And so, so there's that. But may all of you just be richly blessed by his blessings, nam, nam, and all that. And as always, folks, make sure you live your best life. You only get one go around and then it's over. So you want to take all your time, money, and opportunities and give them to yourself, the people you love and care for, and to make this a better world. You'll be happier if you do. And don't waste them on the trappings of religion and faith, because that's a dead end. I speak from experience. And as always, thanks for stopping by. And I will catch all of you next time on Thursday at Deconversion Hangout.
It's time to take a stand, bringing the truth to a fucked up land. We've had enough of the lies and deceit. We're done for good with the toxicity. All hail Fangs, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail Fangs, we are the Rabyd Nation. All hail Fangs, we are the Rabyd Nation.